Welcome to the Paper Trails and Rabbit Holes podcast.
Glad to be here.
So right now, just the simple act of asking an AI to, draft a quick email or make a funny image, it forces a data center somewhere to evaporate roughly a standard water bottle's worth of fresh water.
Which sounds small until you multiply it by hundreds of millions of users every single day.
Exactly. We talk about the internet like it's this invisible thing up in the sky, but it's really just a bunch of very thirsty clouds.
Thirsty and very heavy. The language we use, words like virtual or abstract, it totally hides this massive, sprawling industrial machine, one that's leaving, frankly, permanent physical scars on local communities.
And that brings us to the core of our debate today. We are looking at the huge physical footprint of artificial intelligence. Are we staring down an impending ecological disaster? Or, and this is the side I am taking, is this massive build-out a vital strategic investment?
And I am taking the side of the resource skeptic, because this whole green AI narrative, it's an illusion.
I disagree. I call it the silicon dividend. Yes, the energy and materials we are burning right now, the silicon burn, is huge. But it's an upfront cost to fundamentally decouple economic growth from carbon emissions tomorrow. It is a carbon net negative investment.
See, I think that just hides a brutal physical reality. You can't just ignore the millions of gallons of water being drained from deserts or the toxic e-waste dumped in the global south just because some tech CEO promises future efficiency. It's a resource grab, plain and simple. Corporate vanity disguised as progress.
Okay, calling it corporate vanity is a stretch. But to really get this, we need to look at how these systems actually operate. Let's start with the data centers themselves.
Oh, let's absolutely start there, because this is what environmental scientists call the water energy paradox. Tech companies love to brag about being carbon neutral, right? They buy renewable energy credits and say their facilities run on wind or solar.
Because many of them do.
On paper. But that completely ignores how they keep these massive high-density servers from literally melting down. They use evaporative cooling.
Well, yeah, because traditional air conditioning is just way too energy intensive for the kind of heat modern GPUs put out.
Right, so instead, they use water to absorb the heat, and a huge chunk of it evaporates into the atmosphere. A single large data center can drink 5 million gallons of water every single day.
It's a lot, I know.
A lot? That's the daily water usage for a city of 50,000 people. And get this, 33% of these new data centers are being built in designated water stress zones.
Like out in Arizona.
Exactly. Places like Arizona. You have massive tech facilities drinking up the groundwater while the local residents are being told to take shorter showers. It's bidding corporate expansion directly against human survival.
I'll give you that building water-heavy infrastructure in a desert is, well, it's a terrible idea. But you're judging a cutting-edge technology by totally legacy engineering standards.
Legacy standards? They are building them right now.
But the cooling systems are changing. You are basically looking at a 1990s gas guzzler to predict the efficiency of a modern electric car. You're completely ignoring thermal intelligence.
Okay, I've seen the PR buzzwords. What does thermal intelligence actually do to stop a data center from draining an aquifer?
It fundamentally changes the hydrology. Look, old data centers use basic thermostats, right? They were reactive. A server gets hot, the AC blasts, or they pump a ton of water.
Right, they overcompensate.
Exactly. But AI is fixing its own problem here. DeepMind took over Google's data center cooling. They trained neural networks on thousands of sensors, pump speeds, weather, pressure.
So it predicts the heat?
Yes. It anticipates a heat spike minutes before it happens. It adjusts the flow proactively. By doing that, AI reduced cooling energy by 40%. We are turning these places from passive warehouses into self-correcting organisms.
A 40% reduction in energy is neat engineering, I'll admit that. But it doesn't solve the local water crisis. Water is hyperlocal.
They do water offsets, though.
Which is accounting magic. Buying a wetland restoration credit in Washington state does absolutely nothing to refill a dry well in Phoenix.
It's a standard ecological practice.
It doesn't map to physical reality. You can't optimize a dry aquifer. And even if you fix the cooling, what about the hardware itself? The servers generating that heat carry a massive toxic debt before you even plug them in.
You're talking about the embodied carbon.
Carbon and materials. Let's talk about the rare earth nightmare. Making these high-end chips requires extreme ultraviolet lithography, vast amounts of ultra-pure water, and specialty greenhouse gases.
Which is why we need AI to discover cleaner manufacturing methods.
But right now, every single ton of rare earth elements mined generates 2,000 tons of toxic waste. 2,000.
The extraction methods are harsh, I agree. In situ leaching is bad.
It poisons groundwater with radioactive residue. And for what? So we can feed the death clock?
The death clock? That's a bit dramatic.
It's the industry's own artificial obsolescence. These flagship chips are dumped every 18 to 36 months. Barely 2 years and they're trash.
They get recycled or repurposed?
No, they get shipped as toxic e-waste to the global south, places in Ghana where workers are exposed to heavy metals just trying to burn the plastic off the wires. You can't separate your shiny cloud from the toxicity of the mine.
Look, I am not defending e-waste dumping. The physical supply chain is deeply flawed, but choking off AI development doesn't clean up that supply chain. It actually stops us from fixing it.
How does building more toxic chips fix the toxic chips?
Have you heard about the 9-month revolution?
The Pacific Northwest National Lab thing?
Yes, PNNL. For decades, we've been stuck trying to find new battery chemistries for renewable energy. It usually takes years of painful trial and error in a physical lab.
Sure, material science is slow.
Not anymore. Microsoft and PNL used AI to screen 32 million candidate materials in a matter of weeks. They simulated molecular stability without building a single thing physically.
I know. They found a sodium-based battery.
Right. A new solid-state battery material that uses 70% less lithium. AI compressed multiple human lifetimes of lab work into less than 9 months. This is the silicon dividend.
It's one discovery.
It's a structural shift. We are using the silicon burn today to permanently prevent the lithium scarring of the Earth tomorrow. Without AI, we literally cannot innovate fast enough to save the planet.
Okay, that is a great story. It really is. But you are completely ignoring the Jevons Paradox.
The efficiency trap. I figured you'd bring that up.
Because it's a law of economics. When steam engines got more efficient, we didn't use less coal, we used way more because steam power got cheap. The exact same thing is happening with AI.
But that just means people are finding it useful.
Are they? Making it cheaper is like introducing a highly fuel-efficient car. If gas is cheap and the car gets 200 miles a gallon, people just drive further. Total emissions go up.
That analogy doesn't hold up here.
Why not? Daily API calls are up 50-fold in just months. Developers are sticking AI into everything. Your smart fridge, your fast food, drive-through. It's a volume game. We are just racing to stand still.
No, because we aren't just putting a better engine in the same car. The fundamental architecture of AI is changing. We are moving to sparse architectures and SLMs.
Small language models?
Exactly. In the old dense models, if you asked it, what's 2 plus 2? It woke up its entire multi-billion parameter brain to answer. Hugely wasteful.
Right, it fired every parameter.
But now we use mixture of experts. It's like having a receptionist who only wakes up the math department to answer a math question, leaving the rest of the building asleep.
It routes the query.
Yes. A model might have 400 billion parameters, but only activates 17 billion for your prompt. And with small language models, you get 90% of the value for 10% of the energy. We are decoupling intelligence from raw power.
Okay, sparse models are elegant, but look at the industry. They aren't powering down the grid. They're just building bigger clusters.
To train the models, yes, but inference is getting cheaper.
But the sheer volume of trading runs for these massive frontier models is rocketing total power consumption upward, which brings us to the real question. What is the actual social utility of this?
The utility is massive. Medical science, climate modeling.
Is it? Let's be honest. Is a 1 gigawatt data center, which could power hundreds of thousands of homes, really worth it for ad clicks?
That's a gross oversimplification.
A huge portion of what this multi-billion-dollar machine pumps out is just slop. Low-quality generative filler, SEO spam, and deepfakes that ruin elections.
People use the internet for spam, too. That doesn't mean we shut down the internet.
But the internet doesn't drain an aquifer just to load a web page. We are burning gigawatts of power for corporate vanity and probabilistic slop. We need strict caps on resource usage.
You want to cap the compute?
Yes. If a model doesn't serve a critical social function, it shouldn't be built.
That is so incredibly short-sighted. You want to mandate slow AI and throttle the compute? Tell that to the patients waiting for a cure.
Oh, come on. Don't use patience as a shield for tech monopolies.
I'm not. Look at AlphaFold. For 50 years, biology was stuck on the protein folding problem.
I know about AlphaFold.
Then you know mapping a single protein used to take years and cost $100,000? AlphaFold solved that mystery in minutes.
Using massive compute?
Yes, and it predicted the structures of 200 million proteins, practically every protein known to science. It's the foundation for curing Alzheimer's, ALS, you name it. Are you honestly going to cap the compute because you're annoyed by SEO spam?
I'm saying the physical costs. The depleted water in Arizona, the toxic runoff in China, the neurological damage in Ghana are hitting marginalized people today. You can't justify localized destruction right now by promising a medical utopia tomorrow.
But these aren't permanent realities. The water usage, the embodied carbon, these are engineering hurdles. And AI itself is the tool solving them, like with the PNLL battery.
Technology doesn't supersede hydrology.
To halt AI out of fear would carry an inaction cost that we simply can't afford. It's our best shot at global decarbonization.
And my point is that efficiency can't outpace physics. Without hard caps and radical transparency, this unchecked scaling is going to leave permanent scars. We will destroy the physical world trying to build a virtual one.
Well, I think we both agree on one thing. Raw, unrestrained scaling without a clear social purpose is completely unsustainable.
Absolutely. If we're going to burn a gigawatt power, it better be for protein folding, not for deepfakes. The application of the compute matters.
It really does. The cloud isn't invisible. It has weight, it has an exhaust pipe, and its footprint stretches from rare earth mines to cooling towers.
We have to look past the clean digital interfaces and actually measure the true, tangible cost of all this progress.
And there's still so much more to dig into here. The paper trail doesn't have to end here, but the descent is just beginning. Find us at PaperTrails&RabbitHoles on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you hunt for the truth. Keep your eyes open. We'll see you at the bottom.